And welcome to this busy News Monday on Hannity Tonight. New numbers that prove that we're just beginning to learn of the catastrophic and life-changing consequences, the real-life consequences of Obamacare. A brand new bombshell report by the Daily Caller reads, quote, if Obamacare is fully implemented, 68% of the American people with private health insurance will not be able to keep their plan, according to healthcare economist Christopher Conover. Now, he also went on to explain, bottom line, of the 189 million Americans with private health insurance coverage, I estimate that if fully implemented, at least 129 million, 68%, will not be able to keep their previous health care plan, either because they already have lost or will lose that coverage by the end of 2014. Let me repeat that. He predicts 129 million people are going to lose their coverage. And that's not all. States all over America are now facing what is being described as a massive doctor shortage crisis. A report in the New York Post explains, quote, good luck finding a doctor under Obamacare. New York and most other states already face a shortage of physicians and won't have enough primary care MDs to serve the millions of newly insured patients, data reviewed by the Post reveal. Also tonight, many are calling it the smoking gun, a missed warning sign the team Obama was hoping that you'd never see. It's a 4-page memo sent to the White House back in 2010 from a trusted Harvard professor named David Cutler. Now, he also happened to be a senior healthcare advisor to the president's campaign. Now, Mr. Cutler predicted the administration would be unsuccessful in implementing Obamacare. Now, the memo, which was obtained by the Washington Post, reads, quote, I am concerned that the personnel and processes that you have in place are not up to the task and that healthcare reform will be unsuccessful as a result. So clearly the White House ignored this word of caution. Here with reaction to all of this, author, columnist Patrick J. Buchanan, Democratic strategist Steve McMahon. Steve, every indication they knew, their own study pointed out that small businesses, 60-some-odd% of Americans would lose their health care. Big businesses, 45%. Individuals, 85%. They knew in July of 2010, and the president continued to go out there and sell what was nothing but an enormous lie to the American people. How do you defend that in light of what we've now discovered? How do you defend this?
Well, not surprisingly, Sean, I'm not going to defend everything that the president's campaign did. Clearly, the president overstated or misstated or inaccurately stated
or lied.
What the impact would be on a lot of people, and that's inexcusable.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. He lied. In other words, wait a minute. The numbers show. I can show you page 34,000, whatever the Obama reports. They knew. They all knew, Steve. Why the American people lied to like that when everybody in government knew?
Well, so first of all, Sean, you presume that they knew, and you accurately point out the fact that there was some evidence that perhaps someone should have known. So I'm not going to dispute.
In the record, they knew. On the register, they knew. On page 34,455.
Right. But how many people do you think read to page 34,485? Here's the problem with the law, in my opinion. The law actually should have required insurance companies to make these grandfathered policies available. They said that they can, but they didn't say that they must. And if you and all the good folks who are pointing these problems out were sincere and genuine in your concern for the uninsured, then you would say that let's support Mary Landrieu's fix that requires insurance companies to grandfather everybody in. Because you're right, Sean, if it's true that 169 million people could lose their coverage, those people should be 129. Those people should be taken care of. And we should pass a law right now that says insurance companies shall, not may, shall extend to those people the policies that they like. That's an easy fix that should be bipartisan, and we shouldn't even be debating it. In fact, Pat Buchanan and I could go to the green room and work this out in 5 minutes. Couldn't we, Pat?
Patrick J.?
Well, it does appear that the administration and the President of the United States, I don't know what his aides told him, but deliberately deceived and misled the American people. And he gave us assurances, or a great many of us, that we can keep our doctor and we can keep our health care plan. And I think his credibility as well as his competence over this website have been severely damaged. But let me say this, Sean. If it is true, even a fraction of those 129 million policies, both individual policies and those provided by employers, are going to be invalid and have to be rewritten and replaced, this whole thing is going to collapse.
You know, what do you mean by collapse, Pat? Because this is their holy grail. I mean, I understand Mary Landrieu.
I think here Steve is right. I think Democrats and Republicans are going to say, hold off. We got to put off the individual mandate. We got to put off the employer mandate until we fix this thing. You can't have 100 million people screaming and hollering that their health care program has been changed without having the program collapse. The politics respond to this. Quite frankly, the Democratic Party in a hellish condition as of the next November, and everybody will be demanding changes.
Yeah. Now, it's not just the Washington Post, Steve. The Wall Street Journal pointed out, and this really angers me, because why maybe I'm old-fashioned. I expect our government to tell us the truth. They pointed out that the White House aides actually debated Obama going out telling the lie. And they erred on the side of continuing to lie.
Well, listen, Sean, I haven't seen the report that you're referring to, and if that's true, then obviously, if it's true, obviously it's outrageous. And I agree with you that the government should tell the American people the truth all the time. Sometimes, however, the government gets it wrong. You'll remember the Iraq War. We don't have to go into it, but you'll remember that there was some dissembling and misinformation.
Bush is out of office 5 years. Nice try. I don't want to talk about Bush. I'm sick of it. Stop. We've debated it ad nauseum. No, I don't want to hear it.
Okay, let me talk about the 129 million people for 1 second, okay? If, in fact, it's true, and with all due respect, I think I would need more evidence than the Daily Caller and somebody who works for Heritage.
The Wall Street Journal or CBS News? I'm quoting CBS News.
If it's true, Sean, then Pat's right. If 129 million people really did lose their coverage, this would collapse under its own weight. I don't believe it's true, and I think what you're going to see is everybody who has, insurance companies are doing what businesses do, which is they're trying to upsell their customers. Well, they're trying to upsell their customers into a more expensive, better
Steve,
product.
let me ask you a question, Steve.
Okay, Pat.
Let me ask you a question. Look, I mean, maybe the Tea Party had the idea, but is it not now a good idea to kick over the individual mandate to coincide with the employer mandate? There are real problems in this thing to get a fix, at least on these things, so this disaster does not occur in the next couple of months.
I think, Pat, it's time to fix it, and if you can fix it with a Mary Landrieu fix, that's the kind of fix I prefer. If, in fact, anything like 129 million people are going to lose their policies, of course you should suspend those things. I just don't think that we're at that point yet, and I think, frankly, we need to give this thing some time to work. A lot of the people who are getting new policies. Pardon?
Right. One more quick question. Why would they do this deliberately, go out and say you can keep your doctor, you can keep your insurance policy, period,
I don't know, Pat.
when they knew differently?
You know what? I can't not explain. Fortunately, I can say I wasn't part of those conversations, so I don't know what happened. It shouldn't have happened,
well, let me tell you,
I'm not going to make excuses
One last point, you mentioned Mary Landrieu. She's on the record December 22nd, 2009, just before they passed this thing. Individuals who like their coverage, they'll be able to keep their current plan. So is Mary Landrieu...
Sean, that's what everybody... Sean, that's
Mary
what
Landrieu,
everybody
Mark
was
Begich?
told. That's what everybody was told, and that's what everybody believed.
That's what everybody... Well, maybe if they read the bill before they pass it, we'd be in better position.
34,000 pages, it's just a little nighttime reading.
I think Mary Landrieu was sandbagged as well as Steve.
Yeah, Spieg and Gene Shaheen and Mark Pryor and Kay Hagan, they're all a little bit of trouble now, Pat. What do you think?
Well, I think they will move very expeditiously to kick this thing over for 1 year, and they ought to. It's obvious it ought to be taken back to the shop.
Sounds like a CYA, Pat, where I come from. What if this happened in the Nixon administration, Patrick J. Buchanan?
It did.
We had some problems of our own, as you recall.
That was my point. All right. Thank you.